Hey, I'm Michał and I'm a professional designer, and over the last few years I've been using a couple of different Apple laptops. First I started with the 16-inch MacBook Pro with Intel that was from 2016 and I still have it even though I don't really use it anymore. And then I switched to the 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro, which is my go-to travel computer at the moment. And I edit some videos on the Pro, especially when I'm on the go, but most of the time I'm actually working on the M1 Mac Mini. I'm gonna share my first impressions from the latest Apple laptop unveiling with you, and they're gonna be from a perspective of a product designer working in Sketch, but more recently in Final Cut Pro as well, because as you can see, I'm talking on a video and somebody has to edit it. So they started as usual with a very impressive video presentation, and what I found most exciting about this presentation is that they showed the very old, very first MagSafe adapter, so that was kind of prophesizing what's to come. Then they talked about music, but I don't think many people care about that, so just to sum up, new HomePods with some colors now, new AirPods Pro and Max with spatial audio. They also showed new, smaller regular AirPods, the cheap kind, and fun fact, Diane had both the regular ones and the Pros and she lost one of each. From now on we just always go wired. A new, larger, faster MacBook with a new chip was to be expected, but nobody expected the naming of the chip because everybody was thinking M1X for some reason, and the chips turned out to be M1 Pro and M1 Max. Which is kind of funny because it reminds me a little bit of the iPhone lineup. Well, the second chip probably should have been called Pro Max instead of just Max, but at least it's a little bit more consistent. Back when I got my first M1 laptop, I actually tested it in Sketch on 1800 artboards that were very graphics heavy, and I found out that I can actually move and duplicate them with ease, and that was mind-blowing because for a designer, even the basic M1 MacBook Air is more than enough. So these new laptops are going to be aimed more at like creatives doing video 3D or developers. But of course, if you're a designer that also does a little bit of these things or just some 3D graphics for your designs, then I think they might be a good choice. They shared a lot of transistor science, but I don't think most people understand any of that. The basics are that there is of course more CPU and GPU cores in both the computers, and the graphics is now 2 times faster than the M1, at least on the M1 Pro, because the Max is even faster than that. For video editors, there is a built-in ProRes support into the chip itself, so it's likely going to be a game changer. They also mentioned some additional Thunderbolt controllers, and I think that Thunderbolt connectivity was the biggest issue that I had with the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 chip, because when I connected one of those Thunderbolt ports to the display, and then I tried to use the other port using some dongles, the connectivity wasn't that great. So it was pretty limiting to be able to only connect 2 devices to the laptop because most dongles and splitters just didn't work. And connecting anything to the display kind of worked, but most of the time it didn't, or it disconnected quite often. There are improvements in power efficiency, but I think it's not as important as most pros use their laptops connected to power anyway. It's a nice to have though. What I found funny is that right now all the graphs have numbers along the axis, both the vertical and the horizontal, because in the first M1 presentation the graphs were a little bit weird. There were no numbers, so there was no scale on the graphs. It just showed one line and then the other one, supposedly that the laptops are faster, and they turned out to be faster, but it was pretty weird. So now we're at least back to some data. For video editing, I need to use one of these laptops to actually see if there is a huge difference. I'm expecting it to be. In my current setup, the M1 MacBook Pro stutters a little bit when there are 2 4K streams, one on top of each other. And the M1 Mac Mini does a little bit of a stutter. It's just minimal, but it is noticeable. So I'm guessing that this is not going to happen on those new MacBook Pros. There are 2 new laptops as expected, a 16 and a 14-inch. They have MagSafe again, HDMI, SD card, and yeah, headphone jack is still there too. Happy days. 3 Thunderbolt ports are still better than 2, but I actually like the 4-port MacBook Pros on Intel. But I guess that wouldn't really fit into the chassis with all the new ports. Touch bar is also gone, and good riddance, the new keyboard also looks a little different overall. There is also a notch now for the camera, which I guess makes sense as it blends in with the action bar at the top, unless you're not using dark mode, then I guess you'll have to adjust a bit, because in light mode that camera notch is quite visible. ProMotion refresh rates on the display are also welcome, but mostly for content consumption. The display is now also mini LED, so brighter and more like the larger iPad, which looks awesome. Better microphones and speakers were also to be expected, but on that front Apple actually always delivers. This is more of a feature for musicians. Bumping up the 720p ugly camera to a 1080p one is a welcome change, but it also sounds a little bit like 2012. I was expecting like a 4K camera for 4K recordings or 4K Loom videos or something like that, because for creatives especially this can come in handy. But okay, we'll just have to use external cameras again. Apparently both laptops can be configured to have either one of those new CPUs, and I was expecting the larger 16-inch to get the Max one and the 14-inch to get the Pro, but getting the faster CPU on the 14-inch is a good way because you get both the performance and portability. The memory now tops at 64 gigs, which is a good thing from the 16 gigs on the M1, and seeing how well the M1 performed with just 16, I'm happy to see what 64 will do on the Max. Batteries were also improved, but what's more interesting is that there is now a fast charge feature, allowing you to top up the battery by 50% in just 30 minutes. So for the prices, 14-inch starts at $19.99 and 16-inch starts at $24.99, but of course the bigger, beefier configurations are gonna be a lot more expensive, and that was to be expected as well, after all they're pro laptops. As a designer, while I do some work on the go, I prefer to actually work in my studio on a desktop computers. I was secretly hoping for the new chip also coming to the larger iMac, like a 32-inch one, or to the Mac Mini, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And if you're just doing design, if you're purely working in Figma, Sketch, or Adobe XD, I don't really think that you need these laptops. And okay, they're gonna be future-proof, so if you get them now, you won't have to change your laptop in 5 years or more. But right now, even the base level M1 MacBook Air is more than enough for product design. But if you're doing anything else besides that, like 4K video editing or 3D or coding or anything that's heavy and intensive on the computer, then you might be actually good to switch. I'm not sure if I'm gonna switch yet. I might test these laptops for a while, but for me, I'm waiting for a desktop computer. Like a large iMac, that would be just awesome. So let me know in the comments what you think about the new laptops. Will you be getting them? And if you want to check my performance test of the M1 chip in Sketch for designers, you can just go here. Cheers.